G'day everyone and welcome back to Nolsey's Outdoors. On today's episode, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a leak down test on my radiator for my 1997 model Toyota Prado. So the tool we're going to be using today is a Tool Pro radiator pressure test kit. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to attach one of these adapters here to the top of our radiator while the engine is cool, and we're going to test to see if there are any leaks coming from the radiator or any of our hoses. So remember, when performing this test, for safety reasons, this is a test that's meant to be done cold. What you'll be doing is you're going to be removing the top of the radiator cap here, and if this is hot, it will scald you. Yeah, it's not fun. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab the radiator cap and just remove your radiator cap nice and slow. Pop that off of there, take that out of that. I'm going to put that aside for now. A rag will be handy to clean that up with. Then we're going to choose the correct adapter from our kit for our style of radiator. Now from memory, Toyota ones are supposed to be like use this adapter piece here and then these threaded ones, or some Toyotas use this. So hopefully it's going to be our number 15 one. From memory, that's our 15, yep, great, okay, cool. So this piece here is just going to thread onto our radiator. You can usually tell that these are the correct one because they'll have the same like sort of dimensions as just factory radiator cap. The inner seal here will match the outer seal just there, so this big round ring here will match this big round ring here. So we're just going to whack this on. Okay, there we go. Now that we've got the number 15 one snug up nice, we've got this little barb on the top here. So the next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to grab our bike pump-esque pressure tester kit. Just unplug that from our whole entire toolbox here. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to connect this part of it to that part there and then use the handle to pump it up. I'm just going to set the camera up so you can watch me do that because this is a two-handed job. So we've got a tool, just going to fit this up onto the top of this here, a little barb. I'll just put it onto there, that's on there served. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to pump up this until we hit the rating of our radiator cap. From memory, the radiator cap on my car, yours might be different, but the radiator cap on my car is 13 psi or 90 kilopascals. So we're just going to take this gauge and pump it up to 30. So we've just pumped it up to 14 just there, and I don't know if you can see it, but here you go. Just pumped it up to 14, and just that quickly you'll notice if there's a problem. What's happened is just pumped it up to 14 and it's already dropped till what does that say now? It's already dropped to, well, it's about 13 now, but it looks like it's slowly dropping. Normally what you're meant to do is you're meant to leave this for a bit until you see some leaks, but already, I don't know if you can see this, but already on the top radiator hose, wow, that's really coming out. Yeah, we've got a pretty obvious leak here immediately already. So how about anywhere else we can see? By the look of it, we've got a little bit of weepage just here as well too. But obviously this one over here is our major concern because that's just straight up dripping. We're also going to have a look over the back of the engine to see if there's not any leaks or drips we can see down over that way as well. Hopefully not, because these are going to be the big pain in the ass ones to fix. And I don't think I can see anything from inside the valley here either. Let's just readjust this camera so I can see a better look at it. Here we go. Is there anything on the camera that I can see in there? Not really, no. I can't see much of dripping as far as I can tell, but anything could happen. But here is our major concern, obviously. Like, I mean, look at this. It's already dripped out a bunch. So, yeah, we'll go tighten that up and then we'll have a gander at it. It looks like there's evidence of it happening there, but in the same vein, I remember tightening up that hose just there recently. This hose clamp just here I tightened up recently because this bypass was dripping a little bit. So that may just be residual. So we will do this up, pump it back up again to the correct PSI, and then we'll check for any other leaks. So I've just taken a rag and I've just mopped up all of that stuff just there. But by the look of it, I'm still rocking about 11 PSI. It doesn't look to be going down any faster though, so I mean it's hard to tell with the plastic wrap still on the screen. I'll let it help. But we're going to pump it up again up to the 13 psi and then see if it still pisses out of there or if it's worse coming out of here, because I can see a little bit of green stuff just there. And then we'll check again. We'll check around under the valley, just down under here, to see if there's any drips or any leaks, and up in the back over there as well too. So, but it looks like the big problem I had was just there. And it looks like it could be just here as well. And I remember my radiator video, I talked about how these things can back off over time. I think the tension clamps, like your standard, you know, your self-adjusting style clamps, this is the main argument for using these, but these are harder to find and probably more expensive. Crazy enough, I know, but who knows. Either way, it'll take me 10 seconds to fix this up, but the hard part is just not having this, you don't know if this is leaking. So yeah, it's still got some good pressure in it there. I will pump it up again and then see what happens. Okay, so here we are. We've pumped it up to about 13 point something or other PSI, about 0.9 bar, which I believe is 90 kilopascals. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, we've pumped it up to 13 and a bit PSI. Theoretically, the actual original radiator cap would be failing at this point. It'd be like leaking back into the overflow bottle. But from the look of it, we're just plodding along looking for that. What we're going to do quickly is we're just going to look for problem areas where there could be leaks happening. As we can see so far, there's nothing happening in the valley from what I can sort of tell. There's still obviously some remnants from when there was a leak, but like nothing dripping, no weird ones there. Yeah, I can't see any dripping just down in that way, unfortunately. This over here is still weeping. Sorry, this just here is still weeping by the look of this little bit of green stuff. I might nip that just a crumb, but I don't want to do any damage to this bit here. I'm going to look under the bottom of the car now for any other signs of like problems. I am concerned that there might be some breakage here in the actual tank of the radiator. If that's the case, I'm going to need a new radiator, but here we are. Let's have a look under the car now, hey? Okay, it's not a solid indicator, but at the moment there's nothing on the drip tray underneath the bottom of the car like there was over there. But judging by the look of it, there's nothing coming out of the bottom of our radiator hose here. From what we can see, there's no green like pool or spillage of it or anything like that. And so far, if we can just see it up in there, the top radiator hose, the top part of the radiator hose off the back of the thermostat housing looks to be the same. So I think the majority of our coolant issue is coming out of that top hose. Beyond that though, there was some dripping from the back of the bell housing a while ago. Let's have a look at our heater hoses. Okay, so here we are at the back of the motor now, looking at our heater hoses, and judging by the look of it, our tap, nothing at the tap. Let's see if there's anything wet under here that I can feel with my fingertips. No, nothing really. How about over here? Same sort of deal, nothing in there. That is a heater hose there. There's nothing leaking out of that, nothing leaking out of that. How about that one down in there? Is there any wetness down on here? Not that you can see on the camera there, but not really from what I can feel. Is there anything coming out of the back of the actual heater core itself? From the camera, it does not look like it. Let's get my fingers down in there and see if I can. Nah, nothing that I can feel in there. Dry fingertips still, yeah, so there's nothing in there. Is there anything coming out of the actual, is it coming out of the actual tank here? I reckon the way I'm going to test this is I'm going to get a sprayer bottle onto this and then see if there's any air pissing out of this. Okay, cool. Let's go for a look. Just to show, since I've done up that front hose there, it's still no drips, nothing, and it's still floating around at the 13 point something or other PSI. That's not leaking directly. It is weeping just a crumb here, but it's not leaking enough to cause a problem. I'm going to spray some water and vinegar mixture, which is going to smell, but this here will help determine whether or not there's a leak in the actual tank of the radiator. It's very hard to see without water on it, but let's have a look. It could just be spillage from where that has weeped, but let's find out. Oh yeah, it smells so bad. Yeah, if it is leaking out of there, it's got the most mild leak I've ever seen in my entire life. But normally, theoretically, if that was a real problem, it should be going down with pressure as well too. Since that machine, the pump is adding pressure into the system while it's cold, it should be weeping air out if there was a problem just here. So I will hit that, just that little bit, just to make sure that's all nipped up good. That's so far there. It's holding the 13 pound of pressure pretty easily. And all of those have nothing coming out of it. There's nothing I can see in the valley yet so far. Sorry, where's the valley? There it is. There's nothing I can see in the valley yet so far by the look of it. It's all still pretty just residuals from where there was a leak. I think that's fixed it. I think that's fixed my cooling leaking issue. So yeah, okay, cool. I'm going to nip that up, and then we're going to have a look at another part of the cooling system that people often forget about, and then we're going to see how it goes from there. Right, now to remove this pump, all you need to do is see this little yellow thing just here. We're just going to push that to release all of that for the same reason, because if you take this off now, it'll just shoot coolant everywhere, and that'll be bad. We don't have to tolerate that, mostly because I don't like cleaning shit up, as you can tell by the dirtiness of my engine bay. So let's take this off now, get the cap back on, and have a gander at that, eh? So just an interesting thought experiment. I've just released all the pressure out of this, right? So I've just done all of that. But I just thought I'd give this top hose here a squeeze, right? And obviously I can't squeeze and show and film all at once. But when I squeeze that top radiator hose, this dial goes up to about 3, maybe 2 or 3 PSI, right? So I'm like, oh, that's very interesting. But that to me makes me believe that this radiator cap here should be able to handle me squeezing the top hose without releasing its pressure into the tank. So we're going to try and test this to see if this radiator cap is worn out, which is a common thing for people to forget about in their cooling system. Like, they'll just chuck this radiator cap back on. I mean, you can listen to it. It's even, hear that? It's got like grindy. I don't even think it should spin. But yeah, it's good. Okay, so it's just about to start raining, so I'm going to get this quickly knocked over. But listen to this. Ready? I don't know if you can hear that, but that's the sound of air getting past this immediately straight into that. Because when I squeeze this, it's like this isn't doing anything at all. This radiator cap, not doing anything. If I squeeze this, I don't know if you can see it on the side there. But yeah, it's like I can hear like fluid coming out of that when I squeeze the top radiator hose. Which, I mean, if process of elimination was correct, we shouldn't have been able to get to that PSI enough to be able to get past this. So this radiator cap is definitely shagged. Anyway, I'm going to pack up because it's about to rain pretty heavy. We'll go from there. Thanks again for tuning in to Nolsey's Outdoors. If you like this video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Cheers.